Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dale Menyo. Well, it looks like National Cattlemen's Beef Association Executive Director of Government Affairs, Kent Bacchus, issuing a statement reminding us the latest court development that has once again put the Corporate Transparency Act reporting requirements temporarily on hold. Now, the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed a previous ruling they had issued before Christmas and has instead decided to uphold the injunction blocking the Corporate Transparency Act for taking effect. This means that cattle producers have another temporary reprieve from filing beneficial ownership information with the U.S. Treasury. These court rulings have gone back and forth and continue to add to confusion. NCBA urges all cattle producers to consult with their attorney and or tax professional for the latest information. On Christmas Eve, NCBA had sent a letter to Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen urging a delay in enforcing the Corporate Transparency Act. NCBA is also continuing to urge Congress to pass legislation that will permanently protect cattle farmers and ranchers from this burdensome mandate. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Dealing with a little bit of light snow that fell across the area last night and still is holding on in some areas this morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Overall, the snow is what I would call a nuisance snow. If you got any, you got a fresh coating. Maybe a few areas got an inch, but this is just not a big deal. It's January after all. Nothing really to get too worked up about. I think that we see this moving away very, very quickly here today, and clouds may even give way to some afternoon sunshine. But let's be honest, all of you are wanting to know what's going on this weekend with the winter storm, not so much about what we're dealing with today or tomorrow. But for the rest of today and tomorrow, I do think the weather's pretty nice. Temperatures are going to get warm enough to probably start a little bit of melt just due to the sunshine, but I don't think we get super warm. The real action starts to develop overnight tomorrow night through a Sunday as a winter storm passes by. The low passes by to our south, just south of the Ohio River. I'm ready to put some snow totals in front of you right now. This morning's report may be a little bit longer just because of that, but here's what I see. I think from the northern border, Ohio line, down through US 30, we're probably looking at a coating to maybe 2 inches. US 30 down to I-70, probably 2 to maybe 8. The 8 is really when you get close to I-70. A large part of that area is going to be 2, 4, maybe 6. I-70 all the way down to the Ohio River. That's where the best of snows fall. In my mind, that's where we can see 8 to maybe 12, but most of us are probably going to be in that 8, 9, 10 and a half range, and the best of snows are going to be in that Washington Courthouse, the Chillicothe, maybe, let's throw Cincinnati in there as well, even though it may not be key, but that's where we're going to be looking at some of the bigger snows out of that weekend event, Sunday through early Monday. That's the way that it breaks down. Now, behind it, the cold air is the secondary story. Strong cold air advection coming across the Great Lakes. The lake effect is going to be an issue, whether it's clouds or a little bit of lake effect snow. The coldest air here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, well below normal for this time of year. Bundle up. The snow that we get to end the weekend, I don't think it goes anywhere through the entire week next week. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Well, the average retail fertilizer price continued mixed during the fourth week of December, according to sellers surveyed by DTN. Prices for 5 of the 8 major fertilizers were higher, while prices for the remaining 3 were lower. As has been the case in recent months, no fertilizer had a sizable price increase or decline, which DTN designates as anything 5% or more. The 5 fertilizers that were slightly higher in prices were potash 1034-0, anhydrous UAN 28, and UAN 32. If we look to the prices compared to a year ago, 2 fertilizers are now higher in price compared to 1 year ago. That would be both DAP and 1034-0 are 2% more expensive looking back to last year. The remaining 6 fertilizers are lower in price from a year ago. MAP is 2% lower. UAN 28 is 4% less expensive. The UAN 32 is 7% lower. Anhydrous, 8% less expensive. Urea, 9% lower. And potash is 14% less expensive compared to last year. Now, DTN gathers fertilizer price bids from agriculture retailers each week across the country to put together the fertilizer index. DTN first began this practice of reporting this data back in November of 2008. And the Ohio Soybean Council Foundation reminding everyone that scholarship opportunities for undergraduate and graduate students for the 25-26 academic year, that deadline for applications coming up quickly on January 10th. You can get more information at soyohio.org and then /scholarships. Check out the links on there. You've got some background work to get done, but plenty of opportunity to still meet this year's deadline. Approximately $40,000 in scholarships will be given away this year. And again, both to undergraduate scholars and 25-26 graduate scholars. Check out all the details again online at soyohio.org/scholarship. Well, oil futures settle higher to close the year on Tuesday, recording multi-week increases driven in part by expectations of tight supplies and a recovery of global oil demand in 2025. The ICE Brent futures contract for February delivery climbed the highest level reported in the last 3 weeks. Abundant crude supplies and poor buying interest from China as its government struggled to lift domestic consumption throughout 2024 put downward pressure on oil future prices this year. Looking ahead, there are mixed feelings about what is to be expected from China's demand for crude and fuels and its impact on oil futures in 2025. Some market participants anticipate an increasing demand and higher oil price in 2025 compared to this year, driven by stricter sanctions on Russian and Iranian crude and the economic recovery of China based on ambitious stimulus plan, which includes a flexible fiscal policy and more government spending. But others still believe global oil demand will continue sluggish next year as they remain skeptical about a potential reactivation of China's domestic consumption, coupled with increasing concerns about persistent inflationary pressures on the U.S. economy. Back with more after this.
Whether you're in the fields or on the farm, creating a safer work environment has never been easier. BWC's safety consulting services are included with your policy premiums and offer training and education for everyone in your farming operation. It's always the right time to make safety a priority. Visit bwc.ohio.gov or call 1-800-644-6292. The Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, here to help you work safely.
In a time of tight margins when every penny counts, could you be saving more on your monthly energy bill? Ohio Farm Bureau is here to help members get competitive electric and natural gas supply prices through its Energy Savings Program. Participants save an average of 10% on their rates. Let Ohio Farm Bureau help you take the guesswork out of energy savings. Request your free bill analysis at ofb.ag/energy program. Savings not guaranteed. Actual savings may vary.
And a note on the calendar, you can mark your January 14th to the 16th as the time period at the Fort Wayne Farm Show will be underway. And again, that's January 14th through the 16th. Also, a little bit more on energy. On January 20th, President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn for a second term in which the energy sector is expected to play an important role. Trump aims to increase oil and gas production to help reducing fuel prices and diminish high inflation levels anticipated by the Federal Reserve due to less interest rate cuts next year. Additionally, the upcoming Trump administration has threatened to impose a 60% trade tariff on products manufactured in China, 25% against Mexico and Canada, its main commercial partners, and the European Union, which is expected to have a negative impact on the U.S. inflation and could strengthen even more the U.S. dollar against other foreign currencies. Hey, by the way, I got my latest shipment of biodiesel delivered today, thanks to our local supplier for that. They delivered B20, already winterized and ready to go, at the price of $3.39 per gallon, all road tax and everything included. So very competitive with what you see at today's truck stops and others. So make sure you're asking to be able to use your product. You can run B20 year round. If your supplier winterizes it like they do all the rest of the diesel, you should be in good shape. I've run it for years now. Stay tuned. We'll look at market numbers after this. Hi everyone, this is Dale Minio from the Ohio AgNet. For a quarter of a century, I powered my truck with biodiesel, traveling the state promoting agriculture. Biodiesel is a reliable, high-performance fuel that works in any diesel engine without modification. The best part is that with every mile driven, I'm fueling the economy, doing good for the environment, and supporting soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org.
In any year, your best harvest is only a few upgrades away. Seed Consultants exclusively serves the Eastern Corn Belt, combining our deep knowledge of local conditions with high-performing products fit for your acres. Most importantly, our customized services put our products and your business in a position to succeed. We help you start with better to grow your best. Visit seedconsultants.com to learn why our products and services are simply better.
Time now to check in on the Louis Dreyfus Grain Analysis, brought to you by Louis Dreyfus. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished out the Thursday trading session mixed. It was the first full day of trade back from the holiday, and we were able to follow through with at least a little bit of positive confirmation of the rally that came in just ahead of the New Year's Day holiday. The market that did not participate in the trade's move up yesterday was wheat. We'll dive into that here a little bit. The Board of Trade recovered through the day as we were red on the screen pretty much from the morning bell on until we got to just ahead of midday. That's when the market started to see some decent recovery. Bears were unwilling to press the market lower amid dry Argentine weather. The Brazilian soy crop is rising, with private estimates now being put at 171 or better. That's 171 million metric tons. That being said, the midday forecasts yesterday were for dryness to hold in Argentina into January 12th. Let me be clear. I do not feel that the dryness in the forecast in Argentina right now is taking away significant rounds of Argentina's soy production. Now, the Brazilian soy harvest is going to be gathering speed later this month. President Trump gets sworn in on the 20th as U.S. president. New tariffs are potentially going to be applied thereafter. The market risk is going to shift to more bearish after the crop report that comes out next Friday. That is supply and demand report. Resistance for corn on the March contract, 462. Beans is at 10.20. We came within about 4 cents on the bean side, and as we take a look at the corn, we were within a couple of pennies yesterday as we traded 4.59 and 3/4. Brokers estimate that managed money bought about 2,500 contracts of beans yesterday, 1,900 contracts of corn, 1,800 contracts of soy meal. They did sell Chicago wheat fairly handily yesterday. That's the way your market's finished up. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the open on the overnight markets, March corn down 1/4 cent at 4.59 1/4. May is unchanged at 4.67 1/4. December 25 new crop down 1/4 cent at 4.46 1/4 cent. The January beans are unchanged at 9.99 1/2. March up 2 1/4, trading $10.14 1/4 cent. November 25 new crop is 10.28 1/4 cent and up 1/4 cent. March wheat, if you've got any, is up 3/4 at 5.46 1/2. July new crop 5.64 3/4, up 1/4 cent. And September 25, if you take that new crop and carry it, you're down 1/2 cent, but at 5.76 3/4. In livestock, February cattle 193.60, up $2. April 196.05, up $1.77, and June up $1.72 at 191.35. Hogs are mixed, with February down 15 cents at 81.15. April 86.55, down 2 cents. May is up 22, now at $91.20. March feeder cattle $266.20, up $3.22. April feeder cattle at $266.52, up $2.97. Don't forget more ag news on our website, always at ohioagnet.com. Check out some of the latest videos, and always you can link to the latest weather and markets directly from ohioagnet.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. I'm Dale Minyo. This is the Ohio AgNet.